Ted here, biggoofyrunner. A little bit of a different video today. Today I'm going to talk about being down 30 pounds. I've lost 30 pounds. How did I do it? What changes did I need to make? What worked? What didn't? How did I lose 30 pounds since January? I've already done a video over on the Big Goofy Runner and Family channel about it. It's close to an hour-long video. I talk about my history and go in depth on all the different things I've done. But here I just want to do a little short version of that video just to kind of give just the basics of what I had done, just to have it here on the Big Goofy Runner channel itself. So I'll have a link to the Big Goofy Runner and Family video down below. And I'll also have a link on biggoofyrunner.com on the blog. I put a blog post up for that too. So if you want more details and things like that. So for this one, I just kind of want to talk about what I did to lose weight, what worked for me. So again, this is for me, what worked for me. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. I can't say what's going to work for anybody else. I just know I've been fighting my weight since teenage years, and I've kind of come to realize the things that work for me. Not always able to get everything to work properly. When I do, it's great. When I don't, things fall apart. I've been trying to make sure that things aren't falling apart. So what am I doing? Okay, so if we look at the weight loss equation, the very simple math is if the calories you consume is less than the calories you expend, you will lose weight. The size of that difference will show you how much weight you would lose. But you can't lose weight quick. It takes time. That deficiency, if you have too few calories for your amount of activity, eventually that's going to collapse and it's going to work against you, and you're basically just going to get sick. It's unhealthy to have too much of a gap. So you need to have a manageable gap, and that means losing a bunch of weight takes time. And to do anything long-term enough to make it worthwhile means your mental game has to be there. It's the longer you go, the easier it is for your brain to shut you down. So there's a lot of things that I've needed to do that address each side of the math equation plus the mental side to make sure this worked. So let's just get right into it then. Issue number one. Issue number one for me, Coke. At some points I was getting up to 2 liters of Coke a day. That's like getting around the 800 calorie mark, just completely, utterly empty calories. Something needs to be done about that. Now, I've tried many things over the years to cut the Coke out of my diet, and nothing really seems to work or has seemed to work for me. I've tried, is it the caffeine? Is it the sugar? So I've tried coffee with sugar. I've tried tea with sugar. I've tried tea without sugar. I've tried club soda, seeing if it's the carbonation or just what it is. But what it comes down to is I crave Coke heavily, and if I don't drink it during the day, I get what would be considered like a withdrawal type headache. Like they're just nasty, wicked headaches that like can shut me down mid-afternoon unless I have something to deal with it, have some Coke to deal with it. But I end up needing to deal with the headache. But the headache is a symptom of that need for Coke. So I need to deal with that. Now, the solution to that, I fluked into. So as I said, I tried many things over time. Nothing really worked. But in December, we got a cold brew coffee pot for Christmas, essentially. And what that basically does is it's got a little thing, a little filter packet or a little pocket where you put in the coffee grounds, you fill it with water, you put it in the fridge, 24 hours later it's brewed, you take out the grounds, and you drink the coffee. Mix it however you want. So after I did that, now I'd heard and read that just plain like cold brew coffee was just a lighter taste, less bitter, that kind of stuff. And I went, well, I can't drink regular hot coffee, brewed coffee, without sugar. Can I drink cold brew without sugar? And I could. And I was like, oh, well, that's good. So even if I can replace the coffee with sugar that I have for, say, first thing in the morning, that gives me some calories down. So there's a benefit there, and I can use that. That'll be good. That's not bad. It's easy to drink. It's easy to make. It's not messy. Not using any kind of disposable pod or anything like that. So hey, this is not bad. But the real game changer about that one is I realized that if I had, say, a couple glasses of that in the morning, say the first couple hours where I'm at work and stuff like that, maybe have a little bit more at lunch, I didn't get headaches in the afternoon for not having Coke. I lucked into cold brew coffee being my replacement for Coke. It doesn't kill the cravings completely or anything like that, but what it does do is it gets rid of those headaches for me, for whatever reason. All around, that's healthier. And then it cuts the cravings enough that I don't feel the need to go buy Coke for that reason. So I might get a little bit of a craving, but say I have a little bit of the cold brew coffee, it kills the craving enough that I don't leave the house. And that it just gives me just enough of a boost that my own self-control can take over, and woohoo! So right there, saving a whole bunch of calories. Issue number 2 is I never felt like I had enough time to exercise, which is weird. I've been working at home since mid-March 2020 with the whole COVID thing. So I've been working from home. I don't have the commute and all those kind of things. Everything's very convenient just here in the house. Why don't I have time to exercise? And it's not that I didn't have time, it's I didn't feel like I had time to exercise. So this is into the mental side of the equation, right? There's a mental thing there, is if you don't feel you have the time to exercise, it's very easy to be lazy. So I had to find a way to deal with that. And what the issue is that as I was working from home, I never seemed to stop work, never seemed to leave the office mentally. And so what I did for January here on this Big Goofy Runner channel is I started doing daily vlogs, just talking about my attempt to lose weight and how the day was going and how exercising's going, all this kind of stuff, just a quick unscripted vlog every day. What I would do is at the end of the day for work, what was supposed to be my end of day, I would log off all my stuff, I'd shift over, and I'd basically record an unscripted daily vlog, edit it, post it up on YouTube. It would kill them a good hour. By the time that was done, supper time, supper's done, I'm completely out of work mode. I've got the evening back. There's maybe some room for exercise there. So I did that for the entire month of January, daily, except for one day I was sick. So I did it for every day in January. Now that was kind of time consuming. It's not really what I wanted to do with all my time. But what that did is opened up this window. So in February, when I went to doing weekly vlogs here on the channel, I had time left over, those weekly hours, that hour right after work between when I was done work and when supper was going to happen. I had an extra hour there. I could do something else, and that gets into issue number 3. Issue number 3 was actually increasing my exercise. So using that hour gap, I grabbed a Hal Higdon novice marathon training program, and without the intention of actually ever training for a marathon right now, but mentally I tie losing weight and exercising to lose weight with marathon training, because that's what I basically have done for like a decade or more. Is I tie, well, let's face it, I actually do it going back 2 decades, at least 20 years. So my first timed half marathon was in 2002. So let's go back 20 years or so. So I tie marathon training into weight loss. So that's where I was going to do as one of my base levels running. Taking this novice program, because I've fallen fairly hard from where I used to be, marathon and running wise. So I took that, and it gave me 4 days of running per week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the miles I needed to do fit very nicely in that hour that I had basically shifted into my schedule to do daily vlogs that I'm no longer doing. So now I filled that hour with treadmill time. Cool. I have made time to exercise and still got a free evening out of the deal. So that's cool. So I don't feel like I'm, getting on the treadmill once the kids have gone to bed or too late or anything like that. So that was good. That worked. Weekends, the Saturday, the longer runs were good for a while. That training program had longer runs on Saturday. Of course, they started short, but they started getting longer. And I ran into 2 issues with the long runs that basically got me to the point where I was dreading that long run through the week. It would be very easy for me to skip that run. So I realized that I needed to do something about that. And knowing that what I needed to do was burn the calories, not train for a marathon right now, because I'm not in any race, I'm not training for anything specific, I need to burn the calories. So I took the long run and I split it over Saturday, Sunday. So now I've got 5 days a week doing fewer miles on that longer run, but totaling the same miles for the week. Second thing was the treadmill itself. We've had this treadmill for quite a while that you'd get off it, and there was just something about how it sucked the energy out of the legs that it's like if I go for a walk outside and I'm doing a brisk walk, it's around 4 miles an hour. On that treadmill, the briskest walk I could do and not feel like I was having to start to run was 3.2 miles an hour. It sucked the energy out of the legs and it sucked the energy out of the brain. And especially when I tried to do longer miles, like there was a 11 miler I did on that. It was the last long run I did on that treadmill before we ordered a new treadmill. I did 11 miles on it and I walked off never wanting to run again. And it destroyed me mentally. It was like, I'm done. This is all done. So we ordered a new treadmill from another company that we had used previously, and it's great. I still have the issues with not being ready for long runs, that stuff doesn't get cured magically. But now when I get off the treadmill, when I've worked and I've trained hard, I'm like, okay, this is the mistake I made. I can get better. I'll keep going. Whereas I get off the other treadmill and I was just exhausted mentally and physically, and it felt like I was getting worse every time I ran on that treadmill. So replacing that treadmill was huge. That's part of the mental game. The other side of it is like I'm a big guy, lift weights. I used to lift fairly heavy once upon a time, and I want to lose weight, but the weight I want to lose, of course, is fat. I don't want to lose any of the muscle I actually have right now. So I needed to do some kind of weightlifting. Of course, gyms closed, all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to do something that was relatively easy with the dumbbells and stuff I had here at the house that would just kind of work most of the body just to keep some kind of maintenance level and just burn some more calories, exercise some more. Now, and basically, like, my work and my hobbies have me sitting at a desk or just sitting in general, and that's just not good. You got to get up, you got to stretch, you got to move, you got to do that kind of stuff. It's just not healthy to sit 18 hours a day. So what do I got to do? I got to do some kind of weight. So what I did is I sat down and I made a list of a bunch of exercise I could do with light to medium dumbbells that I had here in the house. And I made a list of different exercises I'd want to do for upper body, lower body, things like that. And I broke them into sets of 1 to 4 exercises. Say push-ups was one group on its own. It was one workout. And another workout was bicep curls, tricep extensions, and seated military press. That's one workout. And I made all these different exercises, and I tied them up into 7, what I called workouts, 7 workouts. And then I went through and I broke up each of the weekdays, and I took 3 to 4 of those workouts and pasted them each day. So Monday I do workout 1, 3, and 5. Tuesday I do 2, 4, 6, and 7. That kind of thing. And just split them up over the day and over the whole work week. Basically made a checklist to make sure that at some point during the day while I was working, I would stop and I would get up and I would do 1 set of each of the exercises in that workout. So I'd say 9:30 I have a meeting end at work. I'd get up, do a quick stretch, and in less than a minute I would do my bicep curls, tricep extensions, and seated military press. I'd put down the weights and I'd get back to work. So just a micro break just to do that exercise. That, that 1 set of 6 to 10 repetitions, that's 1 workout. And then a little later, I get another break, at lunch or whatever, I would do another one of these little quick micro breaks of a different set of exercises, a different one of the workouts. And basically, I made sure that each day I had some upper body and I had some legs, and just kind of made sure I balanced it and tried to make sure that if I was doing a lot more arm stuff on Monday, I did less arm stuff on Tuesday, so I wasn't overworking anything and that kind of stuff. And it's not bad. It's kept a fair bit of toning and stuff like that. And by having it as check boxes that I've pre-populated for the week before the week even starts, it just makes it easy for me to check them off through the day. And I don't feel guilty that I'm taking a break from work. Because if you work in any kind of office environment that cares about you and talks about ergonomics or anything like that, they always tell you to take stretch breaks. These are my stretch breaks. So I'm not taking a break from work. I'm just taking this quick micro break for my health. I get feel better. Then I get back to work more productive than I was before. So issue number 4, snacking, ties into what I would do for breakfast. So I'd get up and I'd quickly have breakfast as fast as I could and then log into work and get to work. It's kind of an offshoot of when I had to drive into the office where I'd cook a couple quick pieces of toast and I'd be out the door. Just fast, dirty, easy, not particularly healthy, and of course doesn't stay in the system for very long because a couple pieces of toast not going to last you very long. So the same sort of mental thing was happening here while I was working at home. Even though I had more time, I could take some of my commute time to make a better breakfast. I wasn't. I was like, okay, I'm up. I've done the things I need to do for the dogs and stuff. I need to get down to work. And I would just do toast the same way. So what I realized is that wasn't working because that wouldn't last long in the system. And an hour later, I'd be hungry again. And I've already fueled the system with carbs. So I would start eating more carbs. And that's what I would snack on, is carbs, carbs, carbs. And who knows in the end how much I actually ate for carbs, what kind of calories I was actually consuming without realizing. The fix for that is something I've done before, and that was to try and have a high protein breakfast. But I still needed to make sure it was done quickly. So what I do is hard-boiled eggs. So a couple times during the week, I'll make a batch of hard-boiled eggs, bag them in the fridge or put them in the fridge in pairs. And every morning I'll have 2 hard-boiled eggs and I'll mix a protein shake that's relatively low calorie. Eat the 2 eggs, drink the protein shake, have some vitamins. Not a huge amount of calories going into the system because there's not a lot of calories in the eggs. There's not a lot of calories in that protein shake. There's a lot of protein and it takes the body a little bit longer to digest and to work on. And that was good because then I'd turn around a couple hours later. I would still be starting to get a little bit hungry, so I'd go and I'd microwave a couple pieces of pre-cooked bacon. Yeah, bacon has the fats and all that kind of stuff in it, but a lot more protein again, and calorie-wise, it's not a lot of calories, but it was a satisfying chew. It was filling, because you can't just scarf bacon really fast, so you got to chew it, you got to spend a little bit of time getting it down there. It was satisfying for the system, the body, and that would carry me through till lunch, and lunch then would be gistro. Whatever regular kind of stuff. I'm kind of talking, I realize I keep talking about this in past tense, but this is what I'm doing now still to continue losing weight. Lunch will be whatever. It could be a sandwich, so I might bring carbs back in then. It could be pizza pops. It could be almost anything, just not a big lunch, just a relatively light lunch, but filling. And then go through the afternoon, and because I am doing that exercise right after work, I don't want to be too calorie deficient going into that exercise. I don't want to have my blood sugar level tank while I'm on the treadmill. So I'll have some kind of snack in the afternoon, and that might be carb-based. Something with a little bit more calories, something the system can consume quickly so that it's in the body when I go to get on the treadmill as soon as work's done. So that's been huge. Enforcing that I don't eat anything after 8:30 has also been big. That's not for any intermittent fasting issues or anything like that. No piece like that. It's all just about knowing that if I eat something after 8:30, I'm probably going to eat something high calorie. Cookies, chocolate bar, or something like that. So it's just trying to limit that option in my brain. Yeah, that's the main 4 issues that I had to deal with. And I wrap that all in together with data tracking. Tracking what you're doing is also huge, mostly because it takes time to lose a lot amount of weight, and your weight will fluctuate in there depending on what you're eating, how your exercising's going, and stuff like that. So tracking what you're eating, when you're eating it, what kind of exercise you're doing, what your weight is, tracking all that kind of stuff together in some way lets you see trends. It lets you catch if something is basically taking you off track on your diet. I've run into that before where there was stuff I'd have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday just on the weekend just as a treat, and I realized I was having too much of it because Monday, Tuesday I could see the spike in my weight. So I would reduce what I did for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I wouldn't see those spikes on Monday, Tuesday. So just monitoring what I was doing and just kind of tracking it so I can see it over time. Because you want to see the trend over time. You want to see your weight come down over time. It's not going to happen over a week, but maybe this week you lose 1 pound, last week you lost 2, the week before you lost 3. It'd be very easy to get frustrated that the 1 pound I lost today is not as much as the 3 I lost 2 weeks ago. But if you put it on a chart and you watch it going down, that overall slope tells you you're doing good. And then you're watching for the spikes to see if there's something you need to change. The data is huge. So a lot of people would say use a food diary, that kind of stuff. That does take a lot of time to do. So what I'm doing, because as I mentioned, the eggs and the bacon that I'm doing in the mornings, that doesn't really change. So I don't have to track that. So I'm taking that, there's no variable there, so I don't write it down. What I do track is things that I've done differently. What did I have for lunch? Oh, tonight I had a beer. I let myself do this one thing. I had a chocolate bar. Those kind of things. I track those and it helps me catch when I'm starting to go off the rails, catch it early, and I'm able to do something about it. So I can correct early, but it also gives me the chart of my weight. It gives me the ability to kind of watch what's going on. And basically, if my brain wants to shut down and say, this isn't working, I can look at the chart and go, yeah, it's working. Just give it time. It takes time. Remember, it takes time. That's going to be it for the video. I just wanted to make this one relatively quick to talk about what I did, what worked for me. And if there's any questions, let me know. There is a more detailed video on Big Goofy Runner and Family, as I said. So like I said, the link's down below. There's a accompanying blog post on biggoofyrunner.com. But if there's any questions, just drop it here or on the blog, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.